Have you seen those videos of animals jumping on people's trampolines in the middle of the night? The first one I saw was of raccoons, which is totally feasible. And I almost fell for it. But then I saw a bear and some deer, a coyote, a fox, a moose. All we need next is a unicorn. Those are very obviously AI generated. Sure, they're fun and harmless. Who doesn't want to see videos of animals jumping on trampolines? But a subtle glimpse into what people are calling a dead internet. A dead internet, you say? Does that mean a world without the internet? Not necessarily. It's more that we begin to live in a world where AI and bot-generated content has surpassed human-generated content. The dead internet theory was once a conspiracy theory found on the fringes, but it has slowly generated more attention because of the rise of AI-generated content. A 2025 Bad Bot report estimates that 51% of all web traffic is created by bots. 51%. And that's just going to increase. And as we discussed last week, we're already in a spot where bot-generated crises are nearly half of all of the content around the topic. Even he who shall not be named in the White House continues to share deepfake and AI-generated content on social media, which is why this is not a sky is falling message, but a it's time to change your playbook message. If bots now outnumber humans, then being seen online requests verifiable proof you're human, useful, and real. The internet is not dead. It's just crowded with ghosts. And we thought ghosts weren't real. Well, except for Rose, my sister-in-law's ghost, she was definitely real. On this week's Spin Sucks podcast episode, we'll discuss how to build signals machines can't fake and how to stop measuring success by numbers ghosts can inflate.
If you're a communications pro who works hard, doesn't compromise quality, and gets the job done, welcome home. We'll share our tips, tricks, and stories, and together we will change the face of PR. Spin sucks, but we don't. With the Spin Sucks podcast, here's Gini Dietrich.
Welcome back to the Spin Sucks podcast. I'm Gini Dietrich. Before we get started, I have a little tidbit for you, and so does Ellie, the puppy. Say hi. Did you know that if you can't finish watching right now, you can subscribe to the audio version of this show? We're on all the platforms where you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Apple, or you can subscribe to our newsletter at spinsucks.com and get it in your inbox. Last week, we discussed bot-inflamed crises in this crazy world we live in. Well, my friends, it does not get happier or shinier. No unicorns and rainbows coming from the internet right now, except for maybe Life of a Showgirl, which I love. I know, controversial, I know, fight me. I love it. Love, love, love. It's probably my favorite of all of her albums. The dead internet theory began on the fringes. It was a suspicion that most of what we read online isn't written for people or by people at all. It's bots talking to bots, while platforms and ad tech applaud the noise as engagement. We know that the incentives of the modern web reward volume over value, automation over expertise, and velocity over verification. And now more than half of what you find online is created by bots. What happens next year when we rise to 2/3, and the year after that when it's 3/4? And then as a content creator, I'm among only 1% of actual humans producing content. It's scary and it's sad. What am I going to do with my life if I'm not creating content? I guess I can bake more sourdough, crochet, ride my bike more, cry in a corner. The result isn't a dead internet so much as a ghosted one. It's crowded with synthetic signals that look like success on dashboards, but fail to move real humans. It's our job then not to mourn the old web. It's to make work that ghosts can't fake and machines can verify. That means publishing original research, citing real sources, showing your receipts, attaching names and credentials, and maintaining a visible chain of custody for your journalist friends. Create content for both audiences. You want to have signals that help algorithms recognize authenticity and stories that help people feel it. If you do that, and if I do that, we will always be able to continue to create content. You're likely already experiencing these symptoms. You have decreased traffic, you have decreased organic search, you have dashboards that are gaslighting you, you have higher bounce rates, you have lower time on pages. Your social engagement is eerily the same. LinkedIn is a hotbed for this right now. Distribution is getting harder and harder, and the cost per conversion has increased. All of this creates trust drift. Audience don't announce, I'm leaving the public internet now. Well, most don't anyway. Some announce and then are back 2 days later, but most just stop engaging where the noise lives. The good news is that people still want to hear from you. They start opening your emails again. They spend time in member communities and private groups. They DM your founder or your customer service team instead of replying in public. They show up at events and webinars. So you want to create the opportunity for meaningful interactions in smaller rooms. Almost go back to the basics, so to speak. Outside of this sheer change this is creating in how we reach our audiences, there are 4 reasons that you should care. Number 1, there is a real cost to believing the wrong numbers. Number 2, synthetic heat has real world consequences, as we learned about last week with the Cracker Barrel issue, right? Number 3, reputation itself becomes more fragile in a ghosted internet. And number 4, there's just simple waste. Let's go through each of them. The cost of believing the wrong numbers is real. And we preach data, use your data, understand your data. What's going to happen now is you're going to have to understand which of the data is bots and which of it is humans. Because when bots pad your reach, and that is happening, and when they pad your clicks, the first casualty is, of course, judgment, because we get excited about those numbers. We celebrate charts that rise, but revenue stalls and budgets drift toward the channels that are easiest to gain. It's not incompetence, it's human behavior, it's human nature. To this point, we've been able to believe the data. Dashboards are persuasive, and when they glow, they steer our decisions. But we have to correct for synthetic attention now. If we don't, we'll quietly defund the work that actually moves people and quietly double down on the work that flatters a spreadsheet. Look at what happened at poor Cracker Barrel. They reacted to a fire created by bots, and their VP of marketing and their agency ended up getting fired as a result. It wasn't even their fault. The logo wasn't even that bad. It was just created, that whole storm was created by bots. The second risk is velocity. Synthetic heat accelerates real-world consequences. The Cracker Barrel example shows you exactly how it works. The bots manufacture early outrage, and then the humans and the headlines take it from there. Last week, I gave you a good playbook to ensure you don't get caught up in the same thing. I will caution you again to create between now and the end of the year, because in our current environment, a rumor can outrun your responses by hours, and wait and see becomes watch it burn. Create that playbook now. If you don't have a plan to verify media, authenticate sources, and respond with facts, you'll be negotiating your reputation with ghosts who never sleep. Third is that reputation itself becomes more fragile in a ghosted internet. So deepfakes and out of context clips shrink the distance between that didn't happen and we're trending for it. The old playbook, which was issue a statement, correct the record, wait for tomorrow's news cycle, assumes a human-paced web. Today's loop is machine-paced. Your credibility must be operationalized in advance, including identifiable experts, traceable content, and a clear chain of custody for your brand's words and visuals. And then there's simple waste. We start spending money on non-human impressions, influencer fees chasing fake engagement, social teams optimizing for likes that never lead to a call, a demo, a sign up, or a purchase. This is an opportunity cost you will never get back. Every dollar that props up phantom performance is a dollar not building the owned assets, relationships, and communities that compound. I'm definitely not suggesting you abandon the internet, but this is why the PESO model is even more important today. With it installed as your marketing operating system, you will know what to look for in your data, you'll make the most informed decisions, and you won't be caught in a bot-created crisis. The brands that win are the ones that make themselves easy to verify and hard to fake, where every pitch, every post, every placement provides proof it came from a real person who knows what they're talking about. That's why this matters now, and not because the internet is dead, but because it's crowded with ghosts, and it is going to get even worse. We've talked about the dead internet theory and about why you should care, and you should care very much. Now let's discuss how to use PESO in a bot majority web. We've spent the entire year of 2025 refining the PESO model again to account for AI and how your brands appear in search results. We've talked about PESO as your operating system, including visibility engineering, structured trust, AI as your new brand persona, and navigating a zero-click, zero-share world. It's no longer enough for you to build a program that integrates marketing and communications. Now you have to re-engineer each channel to be verifiably human and authentic, and do your best to be rid of the bots. I always recommend starting with owned in any PESO model program, and this is no exception. Think about owned media as your foundation and as your fortress. It's where everything you do is verifiable and factual. You can publish a proof stack, which is baked into the page. So it has author identity and credentials, methodology notes in plain language, links to primary sources, downloadable artifacts, and a change log that timestamps updates. You can do this on a no-follow page, so it's not, or on a hidden page, so it's not visible to visitors, but visible to the AI, because that's where it's going to get its information. But you should have a proof stack that allows the AI to find what's real, so that when people are searching for you, including journalists and influencers, that's popping up. Market for humans with clarity about what's new, what's opinion, and what's measured. Build cornerstone resources that are hard to counterfeit because they're interactive or operational. Calculators, checklists, annotated examples, and micro courses. Then protect your best work from being stripped mined by making the experience of your site the product. Internal linking that tells a coherent story, so you're leading people through your website. Related assets that go deeper, and clear next steps that move a visitor from curiosity to commitment. Your website will remain the hub. From here, you can either move to earned or shared media, but because we know LLMs learn from owned and earned media, I'm going to recommend you go to earned next. Never have relationships been more valuable, and not just with traditional media journalists, but with bloggers, newsletter authors, podcasters, and social media influencers. Build your relationships now so that when the bots take over, and they will, you can go to those humans first to tell your story and ensure a crisis doesn't develop. As you do that, keep in mind that no one needs one more opinion. Your earned media relationships need sources who can reduce uncertainty and who have facts and research that's their own. Lead with your receipts. You have original data sets, trends pulled from your product briefs, customer cohorts willing to go on the record, spare but shareable visualizations that make a story easier to tell. And put in a named expert in front of it all and meet deadlines predictably. This is what's going to help your earned media relationships. When the next synthetic flare-up hits your category or your brand, you can make a phone call and they will take it because you've built a track record of being right and being reachable. What I love most about all of this is Shared has moved back to building relationships. You know, the stuff we did in the very beginning as we were learning to connect with other humans on the internet. The main feed can still be useful for discovery, but your outcomes will come from smaller groups where identity is clearer and conversation is slower. So think about customer communities. We have one with the SpinSucks Slack community, private group, Slack channels, Patreon and Discord memberships, creator collabs with audience who actually talk back. As you think about this shift, you'll want to design for replies over reactions. Ask questions that require expertise to answer and reward the people who show it. When something performs in public, ferry the discussion into the spaces you own so it doesn't evaporate into bot churn. Shared becomes the way that you can carry proof of work to the people who care and then carry their feedback back to the work. And last, of course, but certainly not least, is paid. You can no longer be concerned with the lowest cost per impression because the bots are creating all sorts of impressions. Cheap reach is where counterfeit attention hides. So you want to shift the buy to environments that can prove a person was there and doing something. Private marketplaces, direct deals with premium publishers, and contextual packages beat the open exchange lottery. Pay super close attention to buying time and intent. This means the vanity metric we've been railing against for years, clicks, views, and impressions, really don't matter any longer. Optimize your content and your spend to dwell time, interaction, scroll depth, and qualified site actions. These are the signals that bots can't fake. So I'm going to repeat that so you have it. Optimize your time to your data to spend on dwell time, interaction, scroll depth, and qualified site actions. The internet is not dead. It's haunted. And haunted houses don't scare off the people who show up with flashlights, floor plans, and friends. This is less about mastering new hacks and more about raising the standard. Build assets that ghosts can't fake, mark them so machines can verify, and distribute them where humans still linger. Do that consistently across PESO, and your metrics will get smaller before they get stronger. And then they'll start compounding in ways a dashboard full of synthetic applause never will. The playbook is simple. Prove it, sign it, share it with real people, and keep your receipts. In a ghosted internet, the brands that win won't look the busiest, they'll look the most real. If you want to learn more about a dead internet, join us in the SpinSucks community. It's a great place to get advice, brainstorm ideas, and build real relationships with your peers. You can find us at spinsucks.com/community. That's spinsucks.com/community. And make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Instagram. We're posting tips, how-tos, cheat sheets, and more every week. We'll see you next week.